Hey YouTube, so yesterday's video I was reviewed three investments that I was looking for my Chase Roth IRA, for my high yield IRA. Just so you know, I have two Roth IRAs, one for me, one for my wife, and the one for me I focus on high yield debts. Well, they're both of ours, but IRAs can't be jointly owned, so it's not like this is mine and that's hers, but I just have to say it that way. The Roth IRA high yield is the one that I focus on, that I get between 7 and 9%. That dividend yield, that's what I focus on. And in my wife's Roth IRA with Fidelity, I focus on more quality dividend plays, somewhere in the range of 3 to 6%. I would like to see some definite dividend growth within these companies. And so, this is how my year ended, December 31st, as far as yearly income. So I'd like to, I did that video yesterday to add a stock to the high yield, and I'm going to do a video today to share with you three stocks that I'm interested in adding into my wife's quality dividend Roth IRA to get that income going this year. So with that, we'll just start with stock number one. And stock number one, the all-knowing AT&T. That's ticker symbol T. It has a forward PE of only 10.74, a dividend yield of 5.4%. The dividend growth is right around 2% a year. That's a 5-year average. It has 35 years of consecutive dividend growth. So every year you can expect a little bit of a bump in pay from owning AT&T. Now, the thing about the AT&T, the big risk is their high debt level. Last I looked, I'm going off the top of my head because I've researched AT&T over the past year, is close to $200 billion in debt. But they have a consistent dividend that is well covered. So they generate a lot of cash flow, and they cover their payments and their dividend very, very well. The biggest risk to AT&T, in my opinion, is going to be competition, because AT&T is no longer what we think of it. I'm kind of old school, and when I think of AT&T, I think of a telephone company, but they're no longer a telephone company. You're talking streaming and entertainment and owning different channels, and it's a big kind of conglomerate entertainment company now, as opposed to just a telecom company. So I think that's its biggest risk, and also, of course, the debt load carried by the stock or by the company. Next up, we have Exxon, ticker symbol XOM. They're a little bit more pricey. They got a forward PE of 19, but ExxonMobil is kind of like Chevron is. They are leaders of their industry. They're kind of the McDonald's of fast food, if you will. They have a dividend of 5%, growth of 4.9% over the 5-year average, 37 years of dividend growth, and at this moment, this 5% yield is the highest dividend yield in 20 years. I also read that ExxonMobil has only offered over a 5% dividend yield 7.8% of the time in its entire history. So that's pretty good for a quality company like ExxonMobil. Fun fact, this was my first, well, besides a paper route, this was my first job. I worked for a mom and pop shop that ran an Exxon Mobil gas station. And this was back when they had full service gas stations. A lot of people won't understand what those are. Oregon still will understand what those are. But for the probably all of California probably wouldn't know, or the younger folks of California won't know what a full service gas station is. And a full service gas station is where an attendant, would be me, would go out, figure out what you want, take your order, pump your gas, check your tires, check your oil, check your fluids, wash your windshield, and try to sell you a overpriced bottle of oil if you were low on oil, and try to be as nice as possible so you can get a $1 tip. And that was my first job with Exxon Mobil. So the biggest risk is going to be, world issues. It really comes down to that. Oil prices, and if there's any conflicts and things of that, and then environmental issues. I have not read about Exxon Mobil. I'm sure Gen X Dividend Investor went through that, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. But I'm sure they're changing with the times, and I would trust Exxon Mobil to be able to navigate that quite well. And the last stock on the list, IBM. Whoops, let me get that back. IBM, ticker symbol IBM. It has a forward PE of only 10.3, dividend yield of 4.74%, dividend growth of 8.63% over the 5-year average, 20 years of dividend growth. IBM, you can go back many decades, and IBM is just a stable business that got stagnant for a little while, and some would argue it still is, but they made a good acquisition in Red Hat last year, and hopefully that gives them the path to growth and to be, continue to be stable or grow a little bit in the years to come. And that's its biggest risk, is innovation. Will Red Hat acquisition be strong enough, and will they manage it well enough that will take them forward? I believe so. IBM is just one of those companies that are top in its industry. So that's it. What do I pick? AT&T with its 35 years of dividend growth, 5.4% dividend yield. Exxon Mobil with its 37 years of dividend growth and 5% dividend yield. Or IBM with its 4.74% dividend yield and 20 years of dividend growth. Leave me a comment down below what you think it's going to be. Somebody actually probably already knows, but let's see. Leave me a comment down below. Like, share, subscribe. We'll talk to you later. Thanks. Bye-bye.